regular meeting, June 13th, 2023. I'm going to ask Vice Mayor Ben Bryant to say the prayer, and then we'll stand and say the pledge. Please stand.
Let's pray. Lord, we thank you for this time to come and do the city's business. God, just pray you be with each one of us, Lord, that you've used us in the ways we should be used. Lord, we thank you very much for that. We live in a country that people can voice their opinions. God, we just pray that you be with each one here tonight. Anybody here tonight that might be in need of prayer, God, just pray that you take into consideration. Lord, we just really thank you for our employees. We just thank you for the ones that goes out and does the work, the ones that makes everything work here in the city. As we move forward with this meeting, we just pray you be with each one in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The first order of business is to adopt the agenda for tonight. Are there any corrections, deletions, or additions? Hearing none, the agenda will stand. In your package, you have the minutes for the regular meeting, May the 9th, 2023. Are there any corrections to the minutes? Hearing none, those minutes will stand as written. Number 6, we have oath of office for 3 firefighters tonight. And if we can at this time, if those firefighters will come forward along with their chief. However, you can just come here and stand and face on it. If you want to get up there, Ron, Tony. Okay, if you will, raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, state your name. Do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution
Do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution
of the United States of America
of the United States of America
and that of the state of Tennessee,
and that of the state of Tennessee,
that I will obey the laws and ordinances
and that I will obey the laws and ordinances
of the city of Fayetteville,
of the city of Fayetteville,
that I will protect the life and property of its citizens,
and I will protect the life and property of the citizens,
and that I will familiarize myself with
and that I will familiarize myself with
and be obedient to the rules and regulations,
and be obedient to the rules and regulations,
and will faithfully serve the city of Fayetteville
and will faithfully serve the city of Fayetteville
in the discharge of my duties
in the discharge of my duties
as a member of the Fayetteville Fire Department
as a member of the Fayetteville Fire Department
to the best of my knowledge and ability, so help me God.
to the best of my knowledge and ability, so help me God.
Thank you. Thank you and welcome, firemen. Glad to have you. Next is recognition of presentation of awards, Chief Barrett Pendergraft.
Thank you, Mayor. This is the good part of my job. I get to recognize the good work that these fine officers do. I worked for Huntsville, I've worked for Gurley, I've worked with dozens of police departments. I've not found a finer group of officers than you have here in Fayetteville. These guys are dedicated, they work hard, and they want to serve you. And I think they do an outstanding job. The first awards I'd like to give out today, call Mr. Ben Jennings up. We all know Mr. Bill Hopkins, our school superintendent that's recently retired. Bill has done an outstanding job. He has an outstanding working relationship with the police department. He was instrumental in getting our school resource officer program into the schools. He's done an outstanding job. Ben worked for the Huntsville Police Department. He's retired. I've known Ben for years. And after I got hired, Ben asked if he could come do a ride along with our officers. While he was riding, he asked them, what's one thing that you guys would like to have that you don't? And they told him they'd like to have a workout facility, somewhere where they could go and lift weights, work, exercise, bicycle, a treadmill. Ben took it upon himself to go out and find all the necessary equipment to set this facility up. He asked me, if I find the equipment, will you find a room to put it in and let these guys work? And I gladly did so. We have a treadmill, we have an exercise bike, we have an elliptical machine, we have a squat rack, we have weight benches. He even got them a stereo to listen to while they work out. So for Ben and Mr. Hopkins, I have a certificate that says, from the Fayetteville Police Department, know ye by all present that Benjamin Jennings and Bill Hopkins have been duly appointed as honorary police officers for the city of Fayetteville, Tennessee, and is entitled to all the rights and privileges afforded such a position. Congratulations. Welcome to the
Can I ask one question, Chief?
Yes,
Would you read the narrative of the certificate one more time?
you are entitled to all the rights and privileges afforded such a position.
What rights and privileges do I have? That I did not have 5 minutes ago.
Absolutely none.
Thank you anyway, sir.
Next, I'd like to call Officer Jeremy Miller, Officer Preston Cantrell to the front. On April 20th, Preston officers Cantrell and Miller were dispatched to the River Bridge in reference to a suspicious suspect. Upon their arrival, they encountered a male standing with his hands on the fence rail, acting as if he was going to jump. The officers initiated a conversation with him, found he was depressed over the death of a loved one and a recent financial hardship. He was on the bridge to end his life. Officers utilized excellent de-escalation techniques and compassion and were able to talk this man off the bridge. They then transported him to the hospital where he could receive the proper care. These officers' efforts were outstanding. They showed professionalism, compassion, empathy to one of our citizens, and got him the care he needed to survive to this day. I'm proud to present these officers certificates of commendation. This time, I'd like to call Officer Dalton Henderson, Commander Kobe Templeton, Commander Jesse Sass. Early this year, I was approached by Officer Dalton Henderson, who he advised he wished to reestablish the Explorer program for the Fayetteville Police Department. He explained the Explorer program to me. He explained what he needed to get started. And I said, go, and boy, did he go. He set this thing up in record time. We now have 6 Explorers that are in training. Again, in record time. One of my initiatives was to get the community as a whole involved in the Fayetteville Police Department. This program does that. This brings kids in that we can train, get them interested in the field. It's going to be our future police officers. Huntsville has something that's similar called the Ranger Program. Ben was a Ranger, I was a Ranger. 5 of the last 7 police chiefs in Huntsville were Rangers. Outstanding program, outstanding program, outstanding job. One of the other community relations programs that I wanted to establish was the Community Watch program. I held an initial Community Watch meeting, which we had a nice turnout for. Commander Casillas attended that meeting. After the meeting, he approached me and said, I want this. I want this to be my program, and I want to make it successful. We now have several Community Watch programs in the works. We have signs up in at least one neighborhood so far. You may have seen that on our Facebook page. An outstanding, outstanding job. Congratulations, Commander. Commander Templeton. The state came out with a grant to help purchase equipment to reduce crime. I called Kobe in and asked him if he'd ever done a grant. He said he hadn't. If he had them, he wouldn't have volunteered to do it. They are a nightmare, a nightmare. Kobe took this mission. As a result of his hard work and his dedication, we received $136,000 that we're going to utilize for body cameras for our officers in the field. Congratulations. So let me read this to you guys. I should have done that first. This is a meritorious service award presented to Kobe Templeton in recognition for exceptional service of critical importance to the Fayetteville Police Department. The policy I wrote on awards and commendation has 12 steps. This is number 5 on the list. To show you how important this is, even though it's 5th on the list, the only thing that outweighs this is a Medal of Honor, a Medal of Valor, a Purple Heart, or a life-saving medal. This is a big deal. This is a big deal. And I should have given you those, guys. These are ribbons to wear on your uniform. You've earned them. Wear them proudly.
Thank you, Chief. That says a lot for our officers and also for our chief. Moving on to our standing committee reports. First up is Chief Tony Kimbrough.
Thank you, Mayor. For the month of May, the Fayetteville Fire Department responded to 96 calls of service that included 4 fires, 75 EMS runs, and 1 water rescue in the river. That'd be my report.
Thank you. Next is Chief Barry Pendergraft, Police Department.
Thank you, Mayor. The month of May, Fayetteville Police Department responded to 1,346 calls for service. We made 81 arrests for 92 charges. We issued 95 traffic citations for 130 offenses. We had 51 traffic accidents, 12 of those with injuries. So that is something that we're working hard to address. People got the springtime fever, I guess, so we're going to try to work on those. That's my report.
Thank you, Chief. Next is the Finance Department Director, Jamie Owen.
Okay, local option sales tax for the current month, we have received in $329,025. Year over year, we are at a $262,233 increase, and we're at 94.56% of our budget. Local option sales tax for the current month is at $14,560 416. And year over year, we have received in a 32,359,000 increase. We're at 106% of our $160,000 budget. And for property tax for the current month, we've received in 18,738. And year over year, we have received in a positive 135,371, and we're at 92.10% of our budget for property tax.
Recreation Department, Director Brian Carter.
As of today, at Don Davidson Park, our electrical work is complete. The electricity has been turned on, the inspector came in and has approved that work. Lee parking lot, we have bought the drainage pipe for that project, and we're coordinating with street department, and hopefully within the next week or two, we'll have that completed. Our fireworks display will be on Saturday, June the 1st at 2023, starting at approximately 8 p.m. And I'm sorry, July. Forgive me for that, I'm sorry. And our spring sports, everything has our baseball and our spring sports, our soccer leagues are complete. We'd like to thank everyone for participating in those. Our fishing rodeo was a success. We would like to thank Walmart, the Tennessee Wildlife Foundation, the Elks Lodge, Regis Bank, Gerald's Food Land, Save-A-Lot, DFW, Fayetteville Fire Department, and the Fayetteville Police Department for making that a success. And that is my report.
Thank you, sir. Again, that fireworks display, that's July the 1st, Don Davidson Park at approximately 8 p.m. And we'll move now to the Public Works Department. Director Plunkett.
Thank you, Mayor. Last month, we had 270 ton of trash, 171 ton of brush, and we have 3 openings at the street department. You know, anybody needs a job, tell them come apply. That's my report, Mayor.
Thank you. Planning and Codes, Christy Gentry.
Thank you, Mayor. 15 permits were issued in May. The total project valuation was $389,998. The total permit fees were $3,361.40. 6 residential new construction projects were awarded their certificate of occupancies, and several new businesses are also in the process of getting their certificate of occupancies. These will include several new businesses to the downtown square, which is a chiropractor office, a new Mexican restaurant, and a new antique store. We also had the grand opening of Dunkin' Donuts today on Huntsville Highway. 57 property maintenance violations were written in May. We are in the process of doing 2 court hearings and 7 condemnations. Attorney Hill is working with us on this process. During the May Planning Commission meeting, Mr. Jim Donaldson was elected as chairman. He will fulfill the remainder of Eric Jones' chairman term through September until we hold regular officer elections. A minor plat titled East Huntsville Highway Subdivision was approved. This carved off a half an acre on Huntsville Highway, and that was located in the urban growth boundary. A revised site plan for the new D&M Market on Winchester Highway was approved. On the home grant, the contractors are halfway through the project at 509 Cherokee Avenue, and work will be starting on the other 3 projects very soon. All paperwork has been processed for them to begin. The ADA plan work has started here at the municipal building on the high priority ADA projects. We removed 8 chairs from the auditorium to allow for wheelchair parking and added signage to the floor. Braille signage is also being placed throughout the halls to identify rooms and apartments. The CGI video update footage was shot on May 24th and 25th. A detailed shot list was thoroughly planned out by the team leaders of the project, which included Michelle Mitchell, Brian Carter, and myself. We visited over 50 locations in the city limits in Lincoln County. The 6 videos are expected to be completed within the next month, and we will be showcasing them on our website and social media pages. Lastly, I want to talk about the community cleanup day. We have this Saturday, June 17th. We will meet at the old hospital on Maple Street West and divide into teams to the surrounding streets and neighborhoods. We will be cleaning the streets and right-of-ways. No public property will be cleaned. We will be wrapping up the cleanup around 11 a.m. and have lunch that will be provided by Quick Company. This company also donated the money for the volunteer t-shirts, and Mr. Owens has an example of that. We also want to thank Mr. Pluckett. He's going to provide us with a few members from his team to help us haul away the garbage we collect. And this program was started by our property maintenance inspector, and Tony and Tanya Knott have been great spokespeople for this project, and we hope to do more projects throughout this summer. And that's my report.
Thank you. Last in the department reports is city administrator's report.
Good evening, Mayor and Board of Aldermen. Before I start with my report, I do want to make mention that Jill as well as Christy, they do have shirts for each of the board members. So see them about your sizes. I think Christy has them available and we have them out to the board members before Saturday. But as far as my report, you have my previous month's report. But I do want to announce a couple of things that are coming up for the board's attention. We do have a sidewalk bid out. We have a couple of important dates. We will have a pre-bid meeting here at the municipal building, and that will be held on June 30th, Friday, June 30th. The bid opening will be on July 11th. So that would be the same day of the board meeting. So hopefully we'll have the announcement of the winning bidder then. We're also in the process of applying for the multimodal asset grant, which we hope to put sidewalks into that grant. We're beginning to call out state legislators as well as other representatives to see can we get some support, because we think it would be a good complement to what we're trying to do around the sidewalk square. The third thing I want to report, we did receive a full grant for our traffic signal, and that's going to give us full infrastructure on traffic. And thank you, Alderwoman Small, because I did pass that along as well. But we're trying to get that started sometime in July. So hopefully we have the initial report when I come back to the board in the month of July. And my final thing I do want to report is that I did have a long meeting on Friday with the new director of the Humane Society concerning what's going on with operations, and we are making great advancement with the building. We're hoping to close out with that within the next week. They're having a fundraiser, I think, this weekend, but they're expecting to do the final inspection on next Monday. So that project with the lighting should be closed out by this time next week. And that concludes my report on that question.
I do have one item. The van was mentioned, and we've talked about that van in some committee meetings.
Correct.
That's really not being used.
Right.
Where are we on that van?
So we talked about the van. As a matter of fact, I actually had a conversation today. The biggest issue is that if the van is in our name, in the city's name, our insurance provider would not cover the van. It would have to be either gifted or somehow written out to them for it to be covered.
Well, would there be an issue with doing that?
We're looking at that as well as, and I'm also looking at some leasing possibilities that we can cover in the next few months, but we're trying to bring in a possibility to you all, but we do have an option to do that.
So we think we can take care of that in a timely manner.
We can. It would take a few accounting things to transfer the books, but we can.
Thank you.
Yes.
Would it be cheaper to rent a van? Because like you say, unless we sell that van to the animal shelter, or we can't loan our insurance. So unless the vehicle is in their name, they can't get insurance on it. Is that correct?
We cannot cover insurance primarily. Bottom line is the provider can't for anybody outside of an employee of ours. So we can't cover insurance. So we would have to find some way to write it off to them if they were to reuse it.
As a gift.
I'm sorry.
We can gift it. That's what we were talking about last time.
Yeah. It would
If
have
we
to be
gift it, they
transferred.
were, and I think Cindy's already
Yeah.
said that they would give it back if something was to change.
Yes, we would have to do some transfer them from our, wherever the legal.
That's what I would like to see move as soon as we can, just so we can, if we can gift it to them, they can carry the insurance, that would relieve us from liability.
I concur on that. I think that would probably be a very good idea. If we could gift it to them and then they have something that they can actually take care of the animals that they need to take care of with right now. I think that would be something suitable it would help them, it'd help us, and it would get something out of our parking garage that we probably park somebody else there. So, that's just my opinion.
I know at the last meeting, it was voted that the majority was not for that until we bid out the services. So is that a change?
That's where I'm at.
I wanted to see move forward before, just
I'd like
so
to
they
wait.
can have something to give, you know.
Because that truck is just a quote unquote, a ticking time bomb.
It starts when they don't start to make.
We would need a motion to do that. If you're ready at this time, Mr. Owens, or would you rather have some time and then bring it back to us to vote in July?
If the board desire to do a motion, at least to move the process, I can work something out in the next week. I do need to still talk with legal and insurance as part of the process, but I can be working, it just depends on whatever the board decides.
I'm for getting it done as quick as we can, but I think it'd be better to wait till next month, because it's not been through the work session in a proper way yet. You don't have all the information right now.
Right.
But I would hope that soon, even if it's after it's bid out, if that's what we need to do, that we get to the point where we can do that if everything works out.
Okay. So the next work session is July 6th. You want me to have the full recommendation by that time?
I think it'd be a good idea. I do. I think it'd be a good idea.
I would like to move forward as soon as we can, but if it is what it is right now, I'm sure they'll be grateful to get what they can as soon as they can.
Okay, we'll move on with that. At this time, there's no unfinished business, and we will begin on our new business. And the first item is recertification of the zoning map. You have in your package a photograph of the most updated map of the city of Fayetteville. Since the last time that this map was recertified, there have been 5 changes, and these 5 changes are through ordinances, and they are attached in your package. And I would just need a motion to accept this new city map with the changes.
I move that we accept the recertification of the zoning map.
Second. Have a motion by Alderman Bryant, second by Alderman Alder. Any discussion? Can we follow up?
Mr. Alder? Ms. Allen? Mr. Bryant?
Aye.
Mr. Martinez? Mr. Painter? Ms. Small?
Motion carries. Item B is the Fayetteville City Schools FY23 Budget Amendment Number 4. This is just basic bookkeeping, getting close to the end of the year. Do I have a motion for this amendment?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Alderman Alder, second.
Second.
Second by Alderman Small. Any discussion? Vote please.
Ms. Allen? Mr. Bryant?
Aye.
Mr. Martinez?
Aye.
Mr. Painter? Ms. Small? Mr. Alder?
Item C, this also is a FY23 Budget Amendment Number 5 for the Fayetteville City Schools. Again, this is general purposes. Do I have a motion for this amendment?
So moved.
Second.
Alderman Small with the first motion and Alderman Martinez with the second. Any discussion?
Mr. Bryant?
Aye.
Mr. Martinez?
Aye.
Mr. Painter? Ms. Small? Mr. Alder? Ms. Allen?
Motion carries. Item D, approve the FY24 annual budget and tax rate. You have in your package a copy of the summary of the expenditures, the revenue, the budget package that has been prepared. This also has the payroll that was option number 3 from the spreadsheet that the finance director sent out yesterday. This includes correcting the fire department's hourly employees' pay. The new hourly certified straight off the street hire would be $12.84. After the certifications are received, the pay would go up to $14.14 per hour. That is an annual salary of $40,073. This compares to the police officer's annual salary within just a few dollars. Everyone else is to receive a 6.5% salary increase, with the exception of planning and codes director. That is to move up to correct the scale per previous conversations. This budget paperwork also includes a 35-cent tax increase added to the current tax of $1.50. The city tax will go to $1.85. I did have one question and discussion. Let me get a motion and then I'll do that discussion. Do I have a motion for this budget?
So move, Mayor.
Second. I have a motion by Alderman Bryant, second by Alderman Allen. Any discussion?
I'd like to see discussion. We need to talk about option 4.
And I don't think we have that in the package here tonight. Is that correct, Jamie?
So we agreed on option 3.
I don't.
I don't think we've discussed anything
I don't
other
think
than
that's-
option 1.
Option, yeah,
That's the only thing
option
we,
one.
that's the only thing we've met over is option 1.
We got 2, 3, and 4, and during our last, we got 2, 3, and 4, other than now. I hadn't been able to discuss that just yet, all of us here.
Yeah, I made my motion based on just doing my homework from stuff I received after work session. We met last Monday. I thought we came out with an agreement. We met Thursday. I still thought we were with that same agreement. Over the weekend, I got additional information, but I am okay with the one that I made the motion on, which was option 3.
Okay, do I have a motion to approve this annual budget and tax rate?
And I seconded it.
We done.
Oh, okay, so we,
I would still like to kind of discuss a little bit more. I know, ladies and gentlemen, I know all of you have voiced your concerns, and we got a good little communication from everyone. And ladies and gentlemen, this is something that is a difficult decision, not only for us, but I mean it's a difficult decision for everyone. I see these fire department and these police department here, and also some of our public works people that are here as well. Doing the things that these people do, it's a tiring job. I know, as a matter of fact, I was out on a couple calls last night with matter of fact, some of these gentlemen right here. And we're up at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning doing the things that, again, some people just don't want to do, they don't want to see, especially even with the public works. They're getting out at 2 o'clock in the morning and picking up trash, picking up household materials, picking up garbage, doing the jobs that we ultimately don't want to do. Now, this is a double-edged sword for all of us here on this board, and I hope I don't walk over my time if I have time. But we have all worked very diligently trying to come down to where these people can get a good starting rate for the job that they do, even coming off the street, helping those that have been in the job for numerous years. Now, again, this is a double-edged sword. If we're helping these people, then we're helping these people. People sometimes maybe they deserve it, maybe they don't deserve it. Well, that's not my decision to make. That's ultimately, all our decisions to make. And working as hard as we have, You know, I'm looking at option 4 here, and I know Ms. Allen, made the motion for option 3, and I see this other option here. Can we go, because there's a possibility that we could even talk about option 4. And maybe I would like to, you know, make a motion to go over option 4 before we move on to come into a complete, agreement on option 3. And that's just my opinion.
First, I think we got to bid it and
We can't do that because the motion is for option 3 and the budget as written. And so you could vote, we'll have to vote on it. If you are not in agreement with it, then you would vote against this. But the vote is option 3 and the property tax.
Okay.
And I'd like to say something about this motion, because I wasn't really sure where I was gonna stand, because I was happy with where we were last week. But looking at this, I'm happy with the revised pay scale for the fire department. I think it's great for them. And I also think it benefits the majority of employees as far as raises across the board.
That's the way I feel too, exactly. So, I'm with you.
I concur. It's fair. We work hard on this.
I do have one discussion that I would like to bring attention to the board. And we discussed this in the last budget hearing. There were 2 positions that their adjustments were requested for. One of those have been granted, but the other one has not. And I feel like that we have not treated this employee fairly. This employee began working for us in May of 2019. A short period of time after he started, he took over as interim IT director. And our personnel policy clearly states that once you are trained and you assume that responsibility and those duties, that you will receive that pay. And to date, that employee has not received steps and pay. He has completed the certifications that were requested of him, except for one. That is what he is lacking, that he has been told, don't worry about that one, because a lot of this computer certifications, they time out, and that's the only thing that's holding him back. And I feel like that we have overlooked him, and he has been the director over that department for quite some time now. So I would like to see us go back and add him into this budget and take care of him just like we're taking care of the other employee. Any other?
I would ask that, because I don't know much about this. I would ask that the city administrator do a review of that situation to where we've got proper information on why not. And let's get a review done and come back next month with it. Okay? So we'll all know what's going on, because I don't know much about this. And I think we need to definitely have a review of that. I believe that'd be the best way to handle that.
And if you will, look at the payroll sheet and look at the pay that this position gets. You will not be able to hire an IT director for what this employee is being paid. And he has not been treated fairly. That is not what it said in his contract when he took this position. And so I just hope that y'all will really look at this and consider this employee being treated fairly.
I would like to see that done within the next month. A review.
Well, now is this with the option 3 that we have in front of us?
With option 3, there's no increase or adjustment for him in this, other than the 6.5%, what everybody else is going to get.
Let's get a review done and get a report back next month. Be my suggestion.
Okay. So any other discussion on this, approving the budget and the tax rate? If not, Pam, will you call the roll?
Mr. Martinez?
No.
Mr. Painter?
No.
Ms. Small?
No.
Mr. Alder?
Aye.
Ms. Allen?
Aye.
Mr. Bryant?
Aye.
No.
3-3.
Moving on to item E, this is ordinance
Excuse
20.
me, give me just a minute.
Yeah.
How many ayes do we have? How many noes?
We have three
What?
ayes, 4 noes.
Okay. No, you can't do that. You can't have a 6 votes.
It's the
It was a
tie.
tie.
It was a tie. Okay, I got you. All right.
Can we make a motion to bring back?
Okay, item E,
Madam,
Wait, just a minute. Let me just, okay, I'm gonna be sure that the vote's clarified. What'd you vote?
I voted no.
Okay, no, okay, I got you. I got it.
All right. Now that that's been voted no, can a motion be brought up for number 4, option 4?
Option 4.
I don't even have
I think we would have to go back into a
I don't
special
have
session
4
and
anyway.
I
And we
don't
just
have anything on
discuss
that.
that because they do not have all the information.
I don't have anything on that.
We'll have to have to set that, so. Any other discussion? Okay, item E, this is ordinance 2023-07. This is process for public comment. The State General Assembly has set out a law that in the future, beginning July the 1st, that the public will have the opportunity to speak at the beginning of every meeting. And on that, what the public speaks to has to be related to an item on the agenda. It can't be about your feelings as far as the price of eggs if it's not on the agenda. So if it's on the agenda, you're welcome to speak, and we will have a time. You will have 3 minutes to speak, I believe. 2 minutes, I'm sorry, 2 minutes to speak before each meeting. So do I have a motion to accept this ordinance 2023-07?
So move, Mayor.
Second.
A motion by Alderman Bryant, second by Alderman Allen. Any discussion?
Mr. Painter? Ms. Small? Mr. Alder? Ms. Allen? Mr. Bryant?
Aye.
Mr. Martinez?
Motion carries. Item F, this is a joint industrial board appointment. The city appointee, this is done by the industrial board of the mayor and alderman, and the city appointee will be Mr. Dale Pierce.
Mayor, Oversight Committee. IDD Oversight.
Industrial Oversight Committee will be Dale Pierce, and the county appointee will be Mike Lane. We'll have to vote for those separately. So item F, do I have a motion for Dale Pierce?
So move, Mayor. Second.
Okay, first by Alderman Small, second by Alderman Bryant. Any discussion? Vote please.
Ms. Small? Mr. Alder? Ms. Allen? Mr. Bryant?
Aye.
Mr. Martinez? Mr. Painter?
Motion carries. Item G, this is for the Industrial Oversight Committee. They are appointing, the county side is appointing Mike Lane. All the committee members have to agree to this, so we will need a motion for this appointment.
So moved.
Motion by Alderman Small, second by Alderman Allen. Any question?
Mr. Alder? Ms. Allen? Mr. Bryant?
Aye.
Mr. Martinez? Mr. Painter? Ms. Small?
Motion carries. Item H, this is a event permit for the Fayetteville United Methodist Church. This was for the Bible school, Vacation Bible School. That happened this past weekend, but as a matter of paperwork, we'll still need to vote on this event. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Alderman Alder. Second.
Second.
Second by Alderman Martinez. Any discussion? Can we call the vote?
Ms. Allen? Mr. Bryant?
Aye.
Mr. Martinez? Mr. Painter? Ms. Small? Mr. Alder?
Motion carries. Item I, this is for the Guap Life's Community Kickoff Event. This is July the 1st, and this will be at I believe it's Stonebridge Park. 3 o'clock to 7:30. Do I have a motion for this event?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Alderman Allen. Second.
Second.
Second by Alderman Alder. Is there any discussion? Vote please.
Mr. Bryant?
Aye.
Mr. Martinez?
Aye.
Mr. Painter?
Aye.
Ms. Small?
Aye.
Mr. Alder?
Aye.
Ms. Allen?
Motion carries. Item J, the Independence Day Festival event permit. This is July the 1st. This will be at John Davidson Park, approximately 8 p.m. The festival states a start time of 6 p.m. to get set up, and about dusk dark, it will start and hopefully end by 10 o'clock. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Alderman Painter with a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Allen. Any discussion? Can we call the roll?
Mr. Martinez?
Aye.
Mr. Painter?
Aye.
Ms. Small?
Aye.
Mr. Alder?
Aye.
Ms. Allen? Mr. Bryant?
Aye.
Motion carries. Item K, this is farm to table event permit. This is September the 30th, 2023. This is an annual event by the Young Farmers and Rangers. They will host this on the inside perimeter of the square. Do I have a motion for this event?
Before we take the motion, may I have a question? Where are these tickets available, and are they available to the public?
They are available to the public,
They're available through,
the Young Rangers and Farmers.
you have the price on tickets?
Let's see, I don't think they have that on this permit.
Okay,
No, ma'am.
thank you.
And also the State Farm Office, they are affiliate of that. Do I have a motion?
So moved, Mayor.
Second.
Motion by Alderman Bryant, second by Alderman Painter. Any further discussion? Vote please.
Mr. Painter?
Aye.
Ms. Small?
Aye.
Mr. Alder?
Aye.
Ms. Allen? Mr. Bryant?
Aye.
Mr. Martinez?
This concludes our business.
Can I ask one question? Since we did not approve the budget for the night, can we consider having a work session and another call meeting before the end of the month so we can at least attempt to have an approved budget before the start of the new fiscal year? I think that would be pretty much what the control office would want us to try to at least have one before July 1st, if possible.
I think that's a good idea. Anything, do you want to send out an email and kind of get a date of what's best for everyone, or?
I think we're all willing to accept, anything that you all feel. I know everybody has varying schedules, but whatever the board feels the best days, I know.
Why don't you just get an extension from state comptroller? This is, can we get an extension?
Request.
If we possibly have a meeting, if we can't reach anything, we can work on trying to get an extension at the same time.
Yeah.
I think that'd be a good idea. I think it would help everything.
So we would have to have 3 days notice for the first meeting, and then we would have to we'd have to call a meeting to vote. How many days notice do we have to have on that?
I think, did we work out possibly dates for?
We typically give at least 3 days notice.
Okay, on both, even if we're voting, okay.
It'll be tight.
If it was recommended, if it passed to do a special call on June the 26th, that's a Monday, will that give us enough time to get the notice out and then a notice on the vote?
I know we have at least one confirmed alderman that would not be able to be present that day.
What date will we have to get this done to get it in, Jamie?
Well, we just need a vote on July 1st.
Before July 1st?
That's not gonna work.
We're just gonna have to, I can make whenever work.
Let's meet this 3-day notice will be Saturday.
Mr. Owens, will you work on that tomorrow and go back on the time, so we'll have enough time to post the vote, enough time to post the meeting, and see if we can get enough for a quorum there. We have to do what we
And
have
then
to
just for
do.
the special meeting, or do you want a work session in that equation?
We're gonna have a work session, because we're gonna have to discuss this.
Could we discuss and vote all in the same meeting? I don't know.
It'd be hard.
Okay.
Because they would have to
Be very
go
hard.
back, the finance department would have to go back and
Yeah.
provide documentation and everything.
Yeah, be
So how many more options does she need to bring to this first work session? I mean, we had 3 in front of us.
Well, you won't
I'd
have
say
to,
we've got to get a date and come to the work session and just talk it out with the,
Okay, well, I just don't think we can keep having her go back and make new proposals every other day. I think that's unacceptable of us to do.
what were you gonna say, Danny?
I'm okay with bringing this thing
Get out.
Okay. So, the city administrator is gonna work on this, get back with everyone. Just keep in mind to try to keep your, calendar open so we can get as much done or as close as we can with the short time that we have.
so I'm assuming there'll be another public meeting.
Yes.
So we have to be sure on the timelines on that public meeting, you know, and see everything done. So, all right.
Okay, so we'll end with comments. Alderman Small?
I don't have any. Everyone, it's summertime. Everyone's out and about. Just be safe. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much for coming and being here. I also want to thank our police department, our fire department, and our public works department as well. I know, guys, that we are working very hard to try to get this stuff situated, and we're going to do our best to try to make sure everything is fair. And that's also with our IT department as well, and all our departments here in the city of Fayetteville. My mom and daddy always told me growing up that you're only guaranteed 2 things in life. And one of them's going to pay taxes, and I think everybody else knows what the other one is. But what we want to try to do is try to do what's greater good for our citizens and our people the best that we possibly can, and the people that work for the city. So, thank you.
Alderman Martinez?
Like I say, thank you to the new hirees for the fire department. Congratulations. Thank you for joining the team. Thank the police officers and exactly what Jacob said. Thank y'all for your services, but we're not leaving out any departments, including Parks and Rec. And I'd like to say, we'd like to take care of it. We came to this, I came open-minded. And the whole time I've said, we need to take care of the lower paid employees. We're losing them. We want to keep them. Our retention is high. And the whole thing about this is keep y'all here in town. We don't want to lose you. And have a safe summer.
Alderman Bryant?
Yeah, I appreciate all of our hard workers, our departments, everybody that goes out there and works. I really appreciate you. Thank you.
I think, I want to say the same thing they've all said. I'm glad there was such a good turnout tonight, and I appreciate all the employees. Congratulations, new employees. Congratulations to those who got certificates tonight.
Pretty much the same thing. Congrats, guys. Glad to have y'all on board. Congratulations to the policemen that were recognized here tonight. And just thank you to all the employees of the city.
I would just like to say thank you to everyone, to the firemen, to the police. All of our employees are important to us, and I want us to always remember we've got to take care of them, but we also have to take care of the taxpayers. It's on their backs. So we've got to keep them in mind. When you ran for this job, you didn't expect it to be this hard, but you've got to work to do the right thing. So if we just do the right thing, keep that in mind, I think it will take us far. Thank you, and we'll see you next month. This meeting is adjourned.